Hello everybody and welcome back to Synergia. If you remember last time, then good, because I don't. I think this would be our save file. So let's just pop right back into it. Every day, I wake up a little bit earlier. Yet I can feel I slept a lot more. Whatever. It gives me more time to think, more time to get ready. I head to the bathroom, ready to take a shower. I turn on the lights, but instead of the usual white, the room is completely surrounded in a purple glow. Mara shows up by the door.
Celia, are you okay?
You were awake? Of course I'm fine. What's wrong?
I look at my feet and see a trail of blood. It goes back to the futon. I probably hurt my shoulder when I ran away.
I look at my feet and see a trail of blood that goes back to my futon. I probably hurt my shoulder when I ran away with Mara. The joints have been bleeding all night. Shit, it's been a while since something like this happened. I'm fine, don't worry. It's just my prosthetic arm. The skin junctions are old, so they tend to bleed if I stress it too much.
I'll help you clean up. Take off your pajamas.
We grab the futon and toss it in the washing machine. I need to take off my shirt to let Mara help me clean my wound, much to my chagrin.
Do you think you'll be alright? You could stay home today.
I'll be fine. It's not the first time something like this has happened. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make such a mess.
You don't have to apologize.
I do my usual routine before I leave the house for the work van. In the meantime, Mara starts to clean up my mess. I get a notification on HoloNet. They're waiting for me. I open the door and leave.
Take care.
I nod. I get in the van, and Kyle is coming with us. Something feels off today.
Good morning, Celia.
Hello, Darla. So what's today's case? Just some investigation work. We found an android dressing up in the enemy's uniform around one of the gates to the refineries. And why are we involved in this? The android's got no data, and it doesn't have a working brain. The investigation team couldn't find anything, so they want you to take a look at it. I still think this has nothing to do with us. Ugh.
So how was yesterday?
Kyle looks at Darla out of the corner of his eye while he keeps driving. Good? Why are you asking?
I don't know. Everything went well?
Could it be that she knows what happened yesterday? Darla told me to trust her, but I wouldn't put it past them to watch me if they knew I had Mara. But if that's the case, why don't they just take her away? Everything was fine, Darla. What about you? How was your day?
Great.
Kyle concentrates once again on the road. The mayor ordered me to look around the desks of every agent. They've been feeling paranoid ever since you found that 4th generation android. It wasn't exactly a 4th gen, technically speaking. Did you find anything interesting? No, but I discovered that some agents kept pornographic magazines in them. Magazines? That's weird. Why'd they buy those when the network's full of porn? But we monitor their search terms, don't you remember? I found a few magazines in Kyle's desk too. Now that's interesting. Can you explain yourself, Kyle? I don't use that desk much. It probably belonged to the guy who used it before me. It was Vega's desk. Yeah, that might explain it. We arrive at our destination. There's a few agents guarding the area while others are inside, the big sewer pipes connected to the factory. The whole place is a mess, and the android is completely destroyed and scattered all over the floor. I help the investigation team look for clues. I stare at the huge wall that divides the border to the Yellow Sea. It's a titanic construction. There's scribbling on top of the android's corpse. I walk closer and touch the paint. It's mostly dry, with some somewhat fresh patches. Did you see that graffiti? I don't get it. White Cat disappeared years ago. Maybe they still have a few members out there. No, this isn't like them. White Cat was known for doing huge attacks, not for beating up androids. Does the android have anything left we can use? I think Kyle was right. There's nothing left. They just beat it senseless, left their signature and left. How vicious. I don't think we can get anything from this. What do you want me to put in the report? Tell them there's nothing left in the android, and there's nothing left we can do. It was probably a radical group, and another team should investigate the area to see if they left any clues. That's it? Do you have any suggestions? They don't have cameras here, nor direct network connections. They couldn't try to look for hairs. They could try to look for hairs, fingerprints and whatnot, but this doesn't concern us anymore. Why would they do something like this? People are still losing their loved ones to the war. A war against machines that we're losing. What I find strange is that things like this don't happen more often. This war is making the Empire move backwards. Android hate is coming back in full force, and people are revolting against the mechanization. Nothing makes sense anymore. They're afraid. It's an unfounded fear. You can't avoid technological development. I thought we were past this. If there really isn't anything we can do here anymore, then we should start working another case. I won't. I'll stay here until the end of my shift. We should go back at the station and... Darla, would you like to talk for a bit? Kyle can take care of the report for once. Sure. Darla. Kyle, I thought I was the one in charge here. I can hear the agents that were keeping guard in the area chuckle. Kyle goes back to the van to fill the report. I have to admit, it felt good to humiliate him. I knew I wouldn't like him ever since the day we met. Hey Darla, do you have a HoloNet? I do, but I rarely use it. Velta restricts their network, so I can't connect to it from there. Let's use it now then. I'm going to make a private virtual room and invite you. Join and then close your eyes. Okay. Darla. Wow, this is amazing. We can talk here. Nobody else can hear us. All right. Though I don't think it's too safe to go around talking with our eyes closed. Don't worry. I will tell you if anything happens. Hey. You obviously don't share Velta's goals, so why are you working with them? Well, that's not entirely true. Come on, Kyle can't hear us here. Open up. I mean, they're the only ones who gave me a chance. That's sad. You're a good girl. Why don't you talk to me about your little undercover operation? Why don't you talk to me about your little undercover operation? I know you're spying on me. There's not much I can do about it, but if you keep bugging me, I will eventually find a way to get rid of you. I know Velta. I worked for them for a while ago. I already know that. I'm sorry, I can't say anything else. It's fine. It's not you I'm worried about. You're really popular with the Velta security teams. Did you know that? Really? Popular? Yeah, Celia the Witch. They always talk about your covert operations and how you fought against the 4th generation. I would say I'm flattered, but all that popularity has been useful for jack shit. I'm still here, wasting my talents in this trash team. No offense.
I don't get it. To be honest, why are you here? What happened?
It's just not something I like to talk about.
I understand.
What have you heard? I heard that you fell in love with an ant. Whatever. I don't want to hear it. I log out and tap Darla on her shoulder so she can open her eyes. I think I'll head back home, Darla. My apologies. I didn't want to make you remember that. Don't worry. I can't really do much here anyways.
You're right. Take care, Celia.
So everyone seems to know my story pretty well. I didn't know that. Crap. I think I might pay Yoko a visit. I could use some venting. I take a train. There's only one other person inside. Their face seems familiar. Celia? Conrad? The one and only. It's been a while. Oh, I thought you would have gotten yourself killed by now, or something like that. Ah, and you're just as nice as ever. Also, I'm not corporal anymore. They promoted me recently. I'm a sergeant now. So now you're the one in charge of my unit? Yes, so it's no longer your unit. Yeah. You know we don't judge you for what happened. Maybe one day you could come back with us. Joel always said that if you were feeling love deprived, you could have asked him. Shut your fucking mouth, Conrad. Maybe you're not under my orders anymore, but I can still destroy you. Are you mad at me? I clench my fists and look into his eyes. Times change, Celia. Maybe one day they'll see you as some kind of pioneer. Ugh. So what are you up to now? It's none of your business. I heard you're a negotiator now. I mean, it's not as exciting, but you can still work with androids. Leave me alone. Why don't you just quit? Well, I wish you the best of luck in whatever you do. I have to get off here. Hope you do well, Celia. I don't even glance at him when he leaves. To be honest, I had completely forgotten about him and the rest of the team. It's funny, they played such a big role in my life at some point. The train has arrived at my station, so I will try to not think about it too much. I'm heading to Yoko's store, so I'll walk by the shopping district. The display windows catch my eye, and once I get close to one, I see a familiar-looking silhouette. Is that Mara? Mara?
Celia, what are you doing here?
I just got out of work. I was going to see Yoko.
Ah, why?
I have to lecture her about the mess she got me into.
I was window shopping. You know how much I like it. I didn't know you had left work so early, but this is better this way.
I told you I'd try to get out early. I guess this is how she entertains herself while I'm away. I should have known she wouldn't stay at home the whole time.
It's fine. I'm not in a hurry. Can I go with you?
Okay.
Please? I don't care if you two argue. She deserves it.
Fine, fine. I start walking again, this time with Mara by my side. She's still focused on her window shopping. She really likes to stare at them. After a bit, we finally arrive at Yoko's shop.
It's closed.
She's probably in her apartment. Let's go there.
Wouldn't that bother her?
Probably. We take some tiny stairs located to the right of the building. They take us to the back entrance. These apartments are really fancy. Yoko definitely can't complain about her quality of life. We take the elevator up to the upper side and knock on her door. Hey, what are you two doing here? That's a funny way to say hello.
Hi, Yoko.
I was just surprised. That's all? Come in. We walk into her apartment and sit down next to a small coffee table in the living room. So, why'd you come here? What do you think? I ain't sick if that's what you're thinking. What you think? I just closed the store because I didn't feel like working today. How professional. Anyways, I didn't come here for that. Why didn't you tell me that that good friend of yours was Sal? Did you think it was a good idea? Of course not. So, Mara, how are things going with that dumbass? Well, good. I have a lot more fun with there than in the warehouse. What did you mean, of course not? Fine, sorry about that. Hey Mara, why don't you get us something to drink? Maybe some coffee, tea, whatever. Alright. Mara leaves my side and heads to Yoko's kitchen. She goes through every single cabinet and checks every household appliance she finds. I think the drinks will take a little bit too long. How come she's compliant with you? She rarely listens to me. Fear is a powerful weapon. But that doesn't matter. You two are really cute, by the way. Just like two little lovebirds. What? Wait, don't change the subject. We were talking about Sal. So close-knit. But don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Secret? What are you talking about? You know, relationships with an android are outlawed. But Mara is special. I get why you like her so much. I ain't gonna call the police on you. Don't worry. That's enough. Though, to be honest, I found it very easy to start treating her like a human. That's because deep down you always wanted to trust her. All you needed was a reason to look at her differently. You wanted to believe that she was the right one. And once you found out about Project Mara, it gave you enough reason to do so. Where is the lie, though? She's so different. Sure she is. But if you ever have any doubts about her, you wouldn't have believed everything so quickly. You always liked androids and always will. Anyways, I didn't come here so you could give me relationship advice. I ain't gonna apologize about what happened with Sal. Since both of you are here, I assume things went fine. Yoko, I know that you know him. Who is he? Please, try being honest for once. You're wrong, I ain't heard nothing about him. In a really long time. Ugh. You've done a really good job with her. It's a lot more important than you think, you know? Taking care of the first android with real feelings. And everything would have been so much easier if you told me that from the very beginning. I think she looks pretty happy. Don't think about it too much. Hey Yoko, do you ever feel guilty about the things that you've done? Just when I know I've done something wrong. Now that you two are a thing, why don't you take her out for a drink at one of my clubs? There's a small one I use frequently. That I used to frequent a long time ago. It's pretty good. It's pretty empty in the afternoons and also really charming. Take her there. She's gonna like it. I will send you the address on HoloNet. Mara comes back. She's clumsily carrying the tray with 3 cups. Thankfully, they all arrive in one piece. Celia, I didn't know what you wanted, so I made some tea for us. Tea is fine. Coffee leaves a nasty aftertaste. Yoko is still giving me a suggestive look. She acts like she doesn't care, but she actually loves to gossip about everyone's life. She must be enjoying this. Is it still too hot? Be careful! No, it's fine. Yoko's smirk grows even wider. That grin is going to split her face in two at this rate. So, Mara, what do you do while Celia's away? Well, I take care of my garden. A garden? She's talking about the plant she's keeping at home. I don't think you can call it a garden. I listen to Celia's music,
watch TV, play with the computer, go out for a walk, pet our neighbor's plastic sheep, go to the store.
Okay, okay, I see you have fun.
There's just so much to do in this city. How could I ever get bored? Besides, I got my own keys and Celia's permission, so I can go out whenever I want.
You gave her your house keys?
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Unlike you, I couldn't keep her inside all day, trapped like an animal. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really take good care of you. But what can you do?
It doesn't matter anymore, since I won't have to live here with you ever again.
Ah! Hey, no need to hold a grudge. I'm just not good with taking care of others. I second that. Still, be careful if you go around the borders. Things are getting weird. With the white cat, I think it's because of the war. I know what you're talking about. We don't really go over there, but I don't get all the sudden android hate. The war started over a year ago. Well, I heard the Empire had to retreat from conquering the desert because this huge army of thousands of robots attacked them. And of course that led to some distrust to the more conservative people who just happened to live near the border. It seems like a few idiots are trying to imitate White Cat, but they're just some petty thugs. So that's what happened. For me and Yoko, it's not an issue. Mara isn't exactly good at defending herself. Even though there's almost no difference between her and a human, I should still be careful with her. I thought we had gone past that. We've been living with androids for over 20 years.
I know, and I thought the same. Just try to be careful.
Mara absent-mindedly listens to our conversation, like she couldn't care less about it. Is there anything she actually worries about? Since it doesn't seem to bother her, I won't try to induce her fear. So I suppose I'll try to downplay this. Still, there isn't a single thug who can scare me. I have never been scared of you, and now that I think about it, even if you refuse to tell me anything, you still owe me an apology for lying to me again. I am sorry. Enough? Sal's such an interesting guy, don't you think? I'm not sure if interesting is the right word to describe him. It couldn't have been so bad. They attacked us. You're exaggerating. Don't worry, Mara. I know Cilia and how jumpy she can get. Sal tends to invade others' personal spaces, and I guess that didn't help either. Maybe if you told me who I would see from the very beginning, nothing would have happened. If I did, you wouldn't have gone and Mara would still have a broken ear. Sure, like you care about Mara.
I think they treated us well. They were nice.
See, Cilia, you need to trust people. Of course, I'm the problem. I hope I never have to go there again. Mara throws herself on the couch. She looks tired. Still, he ain't just a hacker. Sal is some kind of overlord beyond the Yellow Sea. Every time I go there, I hear more and more things about him. We already talked about this. We're gonna get in a lot of trouble if you keep working with those people. Imperial authorities are keeping an eye on everyone, and they don't hesitate to charge anyone who might be cooperating with rebels for treason. Oh well, at least I could fix Mara. Okay, but I ain't no rebel, so if you ever need my help again, I'm gonna be here. I really hope not. Can you tell me how you met him again? I told you. He contacted me first, asked for a favor, and asked for one in return. We had a couple gigs together, but that's it. I turned to look at Mara once again. She's dozing off. She's growing extremely bored of this. I should take her back home. I'm heading back home, Yoko. Try not to get me into too much trouble, for now, and get away from that guy. Hey, I ain't gotten you into any trouble. I helped you. Try to use more conventional ways to help then. Mara is anything but conventional. You gotta get used to resorting to super strange ways to keep her safe. If you say so. See you soon. I wrap my arm around Mara's shoulder and carefully guide her away from the apartment to the elevator. She's still drowsy and takes small, slow steps. I call a taxi. I don't think she would like to walk around the train station. It's cold, so I give her my coat. She can't help but fall asleep again. Once we arrive at home, I take her in my arms and lay her down on the futon. I change my clothes and lie down next to her. It's still early, but I have to work tomorrow, so I don't mind sleeping a bit earlier. Fear. Give me a second. I need to do something. That's some good diabetes. I had to refreshen my throat. Fear. One day before the Synergia incident. Thus it may be known that the leader of armies is the arbiter of the people's fate, the man on whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Once they arrive to pick me up, I say goodbye to Mara and leave. But something is different. When I get inside the van, I notice Darla isn't there. Hey, where's Darla? They need her help in another division, so they took her to the laboratories. Shit, I guess she was being too nice to me, and Velton noticed it. I just hope she's alright. Why did you take her there without asking me first? Didn't you think of asking what I thought about it? You're the squad leader, but both Darla and I are part of Velton Labs. Remember that. Ugh, go fuck yourself. I'm way too tired for this crap. I can't stand how bland this work gets. But I refuse to let them investigate or persecute me in any way. So what's today's case? A guard android. The police in the area haven't been able to deactivate it. The house owners passed away. They need to clean up the place. Good. It seems easy enough. I spend the rest of the trip thinking of reasons for Velta to come after me. Could it have been something to do with Sal? Or Mara? Or maybe Yoko? It's not like there are too many options. We crossed the district border, getting right into the refugee area. What are we doing here? We're not in charge of this place. All the teams in the area were busy, so they automatically assigned us to this job. Automatically? That definitely sounds like the work of a hacker again. I have to stay alert. We finally reach our destination. It's an old neighborhood on the east side. All the immigrants from the eastern area live here. What the hell is this? Since when are androids legal in this district? People here shouldn't even be able to afford them. I know it's strange. I'll cover for you from the building across the street. Kyle takes his sniper rifle and leaves. I get into the building. The stairs are very narrow, and I can barely fit in it. Still, I can't help but like this place. It reminds me of something, though not too sure of what. I find the android just after crossing the door. Welcome, Celia. I suppose I don't have too much time until your buddy positions himself. A samurai? A goddamn samurai? I suppose you already know who I am? The android was created to serve this family, but your friend lent it to me. I needed it a little bit more than ever. Look, I don't know what you want from me, but I'm not coming with you, and I sure as hell won't give you Mara. I know, but they have different plans for you. Tonight is the night. Make sure Mara is ready. Don't let them catch you off guard. What are you talking about? Should I just deactivate you right now? I keep walking towards her. You know, that last time at the factory kinda left me wanting more. I'm growing really tired of your crap. Celia, I'm almost there. Is everything alright? Everything's fine. Everything is going fine, don't worry. In that case, I will have to stop you. I really don't want to hurt you, but I need this body. I'm very close to the android. He already unsheathed his sword and is on guard. I'm ready to defend himself. He's the one who makes the first move, strutting vertically. Too bad for him, I've been trained to dodge edged weapons. I effortlessly avoid his attacks and can already feel my protocells working. Tonight, I need this body to protect you. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't need anyone to protect me. His sword clashes against my metal arm without leaving a trace. The blade is completely dull. He's holding back. All of this is happening because you refused to come with me. Me trusting a rebel hacker in your dreams. He has changed his approach. Now instead of making me waste my time, he's trying to run away. Shit. Shit, I don't remember which one would be. Okay, so that's... Let him go. The android walks towards one of the windows, but I managed to grab him by the neck. He's very heavy, definitely a combat model. He throws me to the floor, but I roll over and stand up on my feet once again. My hands move to my holster, but I don't pull my gun. I let him go. Thank you. I will do whatever I can to help you both. I drop to the floor and catch my breath. This is getting even more strange, and worse, more dangerous. The target ran away. I could not arrive in time. Celia, are you okay? What happened? I'm fine. The android turned hostile. I'm coming. Wait for me inside. I sit and wait for Kyle. Maybe letting him go wasn't exactly the best decision I could make. But there's no turning back now. Now I know why this place looked so familiar. It was Yoko's old house. It's been years since the last time she was here. It's too much of a coincidence. I know Yoko is behind this, and everything that has happened so far. Celia, I've already informed headquarters. They are sending a tech team and some backup. Are you okay? You're bleeding. Yes, it's nothing. I probably cut myself when I was struggling with the android. I'm going to call an EMT. I stay there for a few hours, thinking of what I saw of the android's body. It was a model from a few years ago, a high-end one, top of the line when it came to combat androids. His armor is so strong that not even Kyle's rifle could have damaged it. Probably he could have crushed me if he wanted, but he didn't. Before I can leave the place, I see Darla walking into the building. Ah, hello, Celia. Darla, it surprised me not to see you today. I had to help out with something at the labs, but I'm back now. Did you miss me? Yeah, surprisingly. I'm glad to know they didn't kick you out. Both Kyle and I will eventually leave. Please remember that. I know. Whenever that happens, maybe we could hang out. Just the two of us. If you want to, of course. Yeah, why not? Please rest. I can tell you've been really busy today. Kyle can fill me in. Take care. They're finally letting me go back home. Once again, my exit is interrupted by someone I know walking into the building. Yoko. Whoa, what a surprise. It's my old house. I came as soon as I heard something was going on here. A combat android went crazy. Was it yours? Of course not. I walk up to Yoko and grab her by the jacket. I try lifting her off the ground, but I give up as soon as I remember that she's a cyborg and weighs several hundred pounds. Yoko, I've had enough of your bullshit. Tell me what's going on right now. Silly, huh? I let go of her jacket, but I stay close to her. I would tell you if I knew anything. I swear, you're my best friend. I would never put you in danger, but it doesn't matter who asked me. It doesn't matter who asked me to. Ugh. I think you've put me in danger more times than I can count. But let's say you're telling me the truth. Then what's going on here? I know that android was yours. You can't convince me that it appeared at your house by sheer coincidence. Fine. The android was mine. He was there to protect my parents. I was the one who put him in charge a few years back. I was afraid of something happening to him. But my parents died some time ago. And you just left the android there? Alone? Yeah, I completely forgot about him. Shit, Celia, just trust me for once. It wouldn't be so hard to trust you if you hadn't lied to me each time I asked you what's happening. You can't trust me now. You can trust me now. I'm telling the truth. Fine. So what are you gonna do now? There are no traces of me there, right? I came here to see what was happening. There's nothing to worry about. Get on my bike. I'm gonna give you a ride home. I hear Mara screaming for help when I get inside. I run to see what's happening. She's still lying on the bed. Mara! You're fine.
Celia, thank goodness you came back early. I woke up and I realized I couldn't move at all. I can't take this coat off me.
I put my coat over her, and its security systems activated. Since then, the electromagnetic mesh is interfering with Mara's body. I can't help but laugh. I got worried about nothing.
What are you laughing at? Get me out of here!
I wipe a few tears from the corner of my eyes and bend down next to her. I actually can't. You need to relax so the fabric unblocks itself. Or just wait until it runs out of battery. It's specially made to block android attacks.
How can I relax when I'm trapped here? And stop laughing!
Sorry. I sit next to Mara and pull her towards me. I stroke her head, hoping that helps calm her down. Mara stays completely silent. After a few minutes, the coat unblocks itself, though I keep caressing her for a bit longer. To be honest, I feel really calm right now. This feels almost liberating. I had a tough day. Things are getting ugly. I don't know. We might have to leave this place. Mara only hums in response to let me know she's listening. So she's so relaxed she can't even speak. If I keep doing this, she'll pass out again. Aren't you scared? We could find a new place to live. Start everything over. Mara sits up all of a sudden and gazes at me. She kisses me on the lips while my eyes are wide open and stands up in complete disbelief. I stand up in complete disbelief. My chest is full of mixed feelings, but none bigger than fear.
What the hell are you doing? You can't do that. Why not?
It's illegal. Do you have any idea of what trouble it could get us into? I will not let this happen again, so don't you dare. Mara stands on her tippy toes and kisses me again.
I love you, Celia. I loved you ever since I entered your house. Actually, I knew I loved you even before I met you.
I tried to say something,
but not a single word can leave my mouth. I just feel like crying. I can't hold it in anymore. I start drowning in my own tears and sob. My own tears and sobs. Mara pulls my hand to make me sit down next to her again. I wipe my eyes and carefully take my coat off before bending down to her height. She's still waiting for a reply. No one can know about this, okay? Know what? You know what I mean. I just want you to say it. Nobody can know we're together. Does that mean you love me too? Even if I'm an android? I nod, my tears threatening to fall again. What do you mean you knew before we even met? Remember your dream? The reoccurring one? I know what it means. What does that have to do with anything? You're chasing someone in the rain. Then you aim your gun and ask them to stop. Yes? Who are you chasing? I don't know. I've never seen their face. I know you can remember. Just try to. They're two people. No, wait. A human and an android, both members of your old squad. One of them betrayed you. How do you know that? You shot them. You were completely terrified. It hurt to see what was happening in the end. Both of them died. Velta Labs decided to hide it and baptized you against your own will to prove your innocence. It's true. All of it. I buried it deep inside my mind. I just didn't want to remember it. What happened? How could Mara know? They hacked the android. It seduced you and you fell in love with it. How do you know all this? Very few people know. I read it some time ago in Velta Lab recordings. They created me, remember? Did you know who created you all along? Uh-huh. I can't understand a thing. Celia, I'm sorry I lied to you, but it wasn't really my choice. You'll also have to forget Yoko. She was working with us from the beginning. Us? What do you mean? Does anyone ever tell me the truth? I understand that you feel frustrated, but you aren't yourself. You've always been a reluctant heroine, but a heroine after all. Please take this. Mara puts her palm in front of me. There's a red pill in her hand. You've been under the suggestion of the Empire for many years. I knew there was something wrong with you when I saw you having those nightmares. Please take it. How do I know that you're telling me the truth, and that this isn't some kind of sleeping pill or even poison? Don't give me that. I know you trust me. And that's what led me to take this decision. You told me earlier about moving somewhere else, didn't you? What if I told you I planned the same thing for a very long time? Take the pill. I take the pill and put it in my mouth. I swallow. Thank you. It'll take a few hours to work. The pill is designed to remove the prothopam from your blood. Soon the doubts, the anxiety, and everything that anguished you will disappear. Well, maybe not everything, but you'll be yourself again. Okay. I've put my trust in you. I only hope that you're not actually like Yoko. Now, tell me the truth. I won't lie to you again, especially now that you've taken that pill. You see, this was all Sal's plan. Sal? So you know each other. We're brothers. Well, technically. We're the same person, but not really. Wait, same person? Yes, I can't tell you much because I myself have been apart from him since I left the capsule. If anyone can answer all your questions, that's Sal. But I can tell you what I know. Go ahead. Velta's been secretly researching and developing new androids for years. Both Sal and I are the result of that research. I didn't know about this until not so long ago. Androids with singularities. Why? I thought the disaster a few years ago taught us a valuable lesson about why they're dangerous. Well, I guess it was just too juicy of an opportunity for Velta to miss. Let's just say that one way or another, I ended up developing my own way of thinking without Velta noticing. I also managed to influence all the androids who were with me to help find you. But how they did it is something I don't know. This is confusing. You see, Velta created a new system to control androids with singularities. It's a series of machines that modify our memories, our minds. All I know is that they transfer the data into images, which are then implanted into the biobrains of the androids connected to them. I'm simply introduced my feelings for you into one of them, and the next thing I remember is waking up into Yoko's warehouse. But how did you know about me? How could you fall in love with me without even knowing me, meeting me? I felt alone, locked up in Velta's facilities. When I got access to the net, the very first thing I did was look for someone to be with. You were booked for a crime. You were booked for as a crime as simple as loving androids. So I couldn't help but be curious and look into you. I guess it was love at first sight, because after that I couldn't stop thinking about you. It sounds a little silly, I know. Ha, how romantic. She's a stalker. I understand. Well, I don't really understand it at all. But I guess it's something. And why did you hide all this from me? You only knew I didn't hate androids, so why'd you lie to me? Well, when I woke up from my lethargy in the transport capsule, Sal had already prepared an intricate plan to get you out of the district. So from the beginning, this has all been a rescue plan to escape the Empire. The impossible love that has to escape. It almost sounds like a movie. I know! Sal gave me this pill when we were getting my spare eardrum. Actually, everything's been a part of his plan from the beginning. The fact that my ear was damaged was no more than a very convenient accident. He would have found another way to take us to the docks, and I would have helped him. He offered for me to leave with him. Was that his plan? It didn't sound very effective. No, whether or not his plan has worked is something I don't know. But I do know what he's going to do now that you refused to go with him. Well, if he told me all this, maybe I wouldn't have refused outright. That's exactly what I told him, and that's why I'm here to get you out of here. We probably don't have much time left before Velta breaks into this apartment to arrest us. You should have settled that before. In that case, it'll be best to look for a safer place to stay. Determined now. The pill must be starting to take effect. I'm sorry if I don't want to wait to be captured for trying to escape from the Empire. I don't really feel like being declared a traitor. I'd agree with you, but we better stay here for now. I know Sal's working on something, and if we move, we might make it more difficult. After all, it's impossible to move around this district without Velta knowing where you are, without Sal's help. We'd be caught in a second. I can contact Yoko. If there's anyone who can get us out of here without being seen, it's her. Remember, Yoko's already working with Sal. If you asked her for help, she'll probably just tell you to wait here. I can't just sit around like this, knowing they're coming for me. Well, we could enjoy the moment a bit. You seem very calm, considering that all that's coming. Actually, I feel protected when I'm simply with you. That's why I'm listening to everything Sal asks of me. I really want to escape from this place with you. And what are we supposed to do once we get out? We'll need a new home, a job. I'm sure for someone with your talent, that'll be easy to find. We could go to one of the many rebel cities. I don't know if that's exactly what I'm looking for. We'll have time to think about it. At least. Wait, do you and Sal work with the rebels? Well, I don't work with anyone. But I think Sal's been collaborating with the rebels since he started planning everything. I don't know if that's a good idea. Why would the rebels help an Imperial? I don't know. I think they're more interested in the secrets that new androids like Sal and I hide. After all, we're a big threat to their plans. I think Yoko mentioned something about that. Your brains are impossible to hack. That's right. But as I've said before, it's not my main intention to work with them. I simply want to escape from here with you. How noble. How did I get into all of this? Great changes are coming to the Empire, and I feel like I'm at the center of it all. Hey, it's me who's at the center of everything. Haha. The impression I had of you is changing pretty fast. Do you like what you see? I still have to decide that. Maybe you're too punk for me, but I guess I don't have anything better. Hey! It's a joke. It's a joke. So you manipulated all of your friends to come and rescue me, instead of just helping them escape. You endangered the integrity and safety of an entire generation of sentient androids, just to be with me. How selfish. I guess so. I had no choice if I wanted to be with you. It seems that after all, you're not the little angel you pretended to be. I've never pretended to be anything. If you thought I was an angel, that's because you got that idea for yourself. I suppose. It must be your eyes. As the time goes by, I notice how my brain feels clearer. The fog that prevented me from concentrating disappears little by little, and I feel more alive and active, somewhat restless. Even, I see a shadow on the window, the landscape slightly distorted with the raindrops. I know it's an illusion. Someone is watching us using thermal optic camouflage. They're here. Who? Velta. I don't know what they're waiting for, but they've surrounded the apartment. Wow, I was hoping it'd take longer. I guess we can only wait now. No matter how many there are, I doubt I'll have trouble getting rid of them. I just need to take my weapon and... No! It's important that you don't resist. Who knows what they might try if we kill one of their own. Things could get much uglier. Right now, they take us for harmless subjects, and we should use that to our advantage. Okay. Well, if we have to wait, why don't you tell me about your childhood? I guess all of those times when you told me you had a bad memory, you were lying. I remember it quite well. At that time, I never thought of my life as bad. In fact, I was happy. After all, I had nothing to compare it to. You were raised in laboratories, weren't you? Yes, but they weren't the conventional type. It was just a facility where all the androids of my generation lived. It was more like a school. Only we were very obedient and never made a fuss. Yoko talked about the simulations. I suppose you could call it that, but they weren't really anything like real life. In that school, what did they teach you? Botany? Botany? That's weird. We used special black seeds and planted them into sand. They had to be watered with a concrete liquid mixture, and they'd grow without requiring water. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Does it? Yes, training androids so they can plant in an environment as hostile as sand. I doubt it's coincidence that they were training you to reforest the desert. Wow, that sounds very noble, like a very noble job. It'd be much better than being a soldier. I imagine that's Velta's intention. You see, since humanity came to this planet and established colonies, they've had the intention of terraforming it. The atmosphere generators produce real rain. They were installed shortly after arrival, but the projects to repopulate the soil was complete failure. There's nothing that can grow in this strange chemical composition of the desert here. That's why we live in these walled cities. Aha! I thought it was strange that you were able to grow something in that pot of yours. So Velta plans to reforest the planet. That sounds like a pretty ethical purpose. No. Velta couldn't care less about the planet. But if they launch a new generation of androids, capable of fulfilling one of humanity's wishes for hundreds of years, it's impossible that people would refuse. Interesting, but I still find it to be a great effort to improve their reputation. After all, my generation has been in development for years. You're right, I must be missing something. Well, I've told you a lot about myself, practically everything, but I haven't lived as long as you have. That job of yours, I'm sure you have many interesting anecdotes from it. Why don't you tell me some of them?
Sure. It's refreshing to be able to talk to someone about this. In fact, I think you've already asked me that about my work before, right?
Yes, but you didn't want to talk about it. It was partially due to the effects of the protopam. They turn you into a passive person who hated work, because it's designed to eliminate any kind of aggressive feelings at the cost of wiping out your personality.
My doctor said they were a new type of supplement for prosthetics.
That's normal. I trust my doctor too. It's not that you shouldn't, but it's just that in the city, almost everything is corrupt. Speaking of your prosthetics, why don't you tell me about it too?
There's not much to say about my arm. It looks like a civilian model to the naked eye, but it's actually an old military model. Don't be fooled by the word old, though. It's very reliable, and one of the best I've ever had. Its weight equals that of my right arm to avoid any kind of back problems, but at the same time it uses a wrist projection system and gives me the same strength as a combat android. The structure is composed and in composition is like that of a human bone, though, in spite of being very resilient, its interior is hollow.
Wow, now I feel even safer!
It's a good weapon. It helped me win every hand-to-hand encounter I've ever had.
You were part of a unit that was dedicated to neutralizing androids without destroying them, weren't you?
Not exactly.
Many years ago, I was part of the Empire's secret special operations corps in a group called Ghost Team. It's true that we were not specialized in the use of non-lethal forms of force. But sometimes there's nothing left but to neutralize your opponent.
I understand, but at least you tried. It sounds better than it is. The Empire never had any contemplation for the life of androids. Mara's frowning. Don't look at me with that face. You might be a sentient android, but the generations that came before you've been nothing but machines without conscience. The only reason we tried not to destroy the androids was because they were very expensive and difficult to make, so their owners wanted them back in the best possible condition. That, of course, has changed over the years. Now that androids are mass-produced like any other product, Ghost Team lost one of its main functions.
One? What other functions did your team have?
Cyborgs have been around much longer than androids. Our team also neutralized cyborgs with illegal prosthetics. Cyborgs are people, so they have rights unlike androids.
Was it dangerous?
Very dangerous. Some of those cyborgs were strong enough to crush you with one hand, and that was if they didn't carry some kind of hidden weapon. They were also much more unpredictable than androids, and more dangerous. Though androids were the most dangerous.
I thought androids were the most dangerous. Aren't they able to process information faster?
Only in some senses. When two opponents reach the limit of their capabilities, the result of their confrontation is only based on their decision-making. That is to say, if you're able to predict your opponent's next move and act accordingly, you can defeat him without giving him the time to react, no matter how powerful they may be. That was the basis of most of the Ghost Team's training. Fighting androids was easy. An android had unparalleled aim, strength, and agility. But it's incredibly predictable. He'll always choose the best possible option. And once you predict it, all you have to do is ambush him or use his strength against him. Over time, androids have been designed to be more unpredictable and choose options that are not optimal in an effort to appear more realistic. This made them more efficient in large-scale conflicts, but their effectiveness against specialized teams dropped. Humans, however, are much more unpredictable. When you give them the capabilities of an android by augmentation, they become an immensely greater threat.
Yoko's a cyborg, right? And a dangerous one. Unlike androids, cyborgs have only become more and more dangerous over time, as implants have improved. I doubt that the techniques we used 10 years ago would still work. And where does that put me? Well, you're neither. When I saw your interior, I could see that you have blood flowing and a natural brain. That is, you're a biroid. So why does everyone call me an android? At first glance, you can't distinguish an android from a biroid. Parts of its body made of organic matter. I've never seen a biroid with a natural brain, so you're an especially unique specimen. Thank you. This means you've got the capabilities of an android, and you can't be hacked, at least not completely. A hacker will never be able to take control of your body. At most, he'll be able to disable or manipulate you, just like he would a human. A biroid can be altered with chemical substances, but that's extremely expensive. Producing biroids also costs a lot. I wonder how Velta managed to create so many without going bankrupt. I remember seeing other androids like you, locked in capsules with a strange amniotic fluid, as if they were fetuses in the womb. How disturbing. No big deal. It's a method that's been used before with human babies, but never with bioroids. In short, I'm the ultimate machine. Well, you're not. You're pretty weak. For some reason they designed you with I wonder if someday you'll stop insulting me. I'm just saying that to be the perfect machine, you need a resilient body like a combat android. If they gave you that, you'd be something extremely dangerous. An android as unique and autonomous as a human being, incapable of being hacked, and with the force of a tank? I'm already afraid to even think about it. Now that I remember it, why did Sal want my blood? I have no idea. I know as much as you do about that. I don't have a magic method to talk to Sal. He's the one who contacted me through terminals, phones, whenever you weren't home. I see. I hear a noise behind the front door. What was that? Probably Velta's soldiers. They decided to act. So that means Sal's gonna do it. Do what? The next part of his plan? The next part of his plan, Celia. Promise me you won't fight them, okay? Alright. And don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I hear an explosion. The floor trembles, and the lights go out for a few seconds. I look out the window. The whole city is dark, and I catch a glimpse of a huge column of smoke and fire on the horizons from the industrial zone. When I turn around, Mara's lying on the floor with her eyes blank. Mara? She's still breathing, and I can feel her heartbeat, but her body doesn't respond. I shake her and try and wake her up, but it doesn't work. What's going on? Didn't you think it would be a good idea to tell me about this first? I turn on the TV. The broadcast of a documentary cuts to make way for breaking news. Breaking news. A series of explosions have just occurred through the district's industrial area, which is currently under the control of Velta Labs, and the state security forces have already headed to the site. The cause of the explosions are currently unknown, but it's believed that they could be related to a rebel hacker known as Sal, and the defector is Celia, a former district security agent. I hear footsteps on the other side of the door. I take Mara's body in my arms. Hoplon Security Department. Hoplon Security Department. Hoplon Security Department. The door slams open and dozens of flashlights blind me. When I manage to reopen my eyes, I can see someone familiar. Celia, that android you're holding is property of Velta Labs. Drop the android to the ground and get on your knees with your hands behind your head. I'm paralyzed. I remember what Mara asked me to do, so I close my eyes and take a deep breath and calm down. When I open them again, Kyle is in front of me. So in the end, I was right. You knew Mara was with me. Of course I knew. I was getting tired of that show we played every day. Maybe Darla enjoyed it, but not me. It was only a matter of time before this happened. Synergy. Seeking what is true is not seeking what is desirable. Albert Camus. When I kneel on the floor, I heard screams coming from the entrance. Velta's soldiers fall one by one into the hands of the same android I had let escape earlier. Kyle attacks the androids, and they both start fighting, dragging their brawl outside. I seize my chance and grab Mara again, running out of the house with her in my arms. I see Yoko arrive with her motorcycle. She waves at me. Carefully, I get on the bike while holding on to Mara. Yoko drives, weaving through the district skyscrapers for several minutes, making sure no one follows us. Finally, we arrive at one of Yoko's clubs. A club? Really? Wasn't there a better place? Believe me, you ain't got much better. She'll be safe here. Well, first things first. I need to make sure Mara's properly protected. Yoko calls out to someone at the back of the club. It looks like one of her henchmen. Celia, this is Rat. She'll be in charge of escorting you and Mara while you're here, in the club. Nice to meet you, Celia. That smile is chilling. But right now, I can't afford to be fussy with my allies. Huh. I guess I could use some help. Exactly. Rat'll walk you to your room and help you move around the place. Gotta go get shit done. Let's speak when I get back. What? Wait. Aren't you gonna clear up anything for me? You've been planning everything behind my back, and I think I deserve an explanation. I agree, but I really gotta get things to do. Got a lot of things to do, and for both your sakes, I hope they go well. Well, I guess I also have some things to think about. See ya! Yoko runs off with a small group of guards behind her. Well, Celia, how about I show you to your room? I take Mara and follow the Rat to a small room on the top floor of the club. The noises of the music stifled by thick concrete walls. It makes me feel somewhat safe. There's medical equipment next to the bed. I place Mara in it, and Rat puts an oxygen mask on her before connecting her to the machine. She'll be fine here. You should come with me downstairs. I think I'll stay with Mara. Someone's got to take care of her. Don't worry about that. Our girls are keeping an eye on her from time to time. This place is impenetrable. Yeah, I still think I'm going to stay here. You should at least meet the owner of the club, don't you think? Isn't that you? Haha! Not even close. I just work for Yoko. I'm sure she'll be glad to see someone like you. Like me? Don't be humble, Celia. Yoko told me about you. Rat looks at me from the top down and almost eats me with her eyes. It must be a delight to work with you, and I don't want to waste the occasion. I can't help but raise an eyebrow. She grabs me by the wrist and takes me downstairs. For some reason I don't resist. I look back at the closed door of the room as I walk away from it. The music of the club thunders in my ear again. We walk to the back of the hall. Seems like the owner isn't here. What a shame. Then I'd better go back to Mara. Of course not. How about we chat a little? What? Look, I don't have time for chit-chat right now. Well, maybe I know something about everything that's going on. Who knows? Alright. What do you want? Rat lets out a rather diabolical laugh. Where to start? I guess I should be honest with you. I like you. I think you have what we need. You and who else? The Red Moon, you know, Yoko's band. Although, I don't know if calling it a band is still appropriate. Ahem. And what is it that you need? Your strength, decision, originality, authenticity, initiative, intelligence, beauty, affection? Okay. I think there's all of that in Yoko's band already, especially strength. Do you think Yoko's stronger than you? I didn't say that. Exactly. You know there's nothing in this world that can defeat you. Wow, that's quite an exaggeration. Not at all. Maybe you don't have the physical strength of Yoko, but I've read about you. Your ways of improvising and how you overcame every case you had in front of you. And look at where all my success has taken me. That's because no one supported you. But with the Red Moon behind you, you'd be unstoppable. I'm not gonna join Yoko's band if that's what you're talking about. No, that's not at all. It's just that Yoko's vision is short-sighted. She thinks she's in control, but I think she's just another puppet. What exactly are you planning? You see, the good thing about being one of Yoko's trusted girls is that I'm almost always aware of almost all of her plans. But I'm not going to tell you her secrets so easily. And what do you want in return? Nothing! I just want you to listen to me. Well, that I can do. Yoko's very capable. I've seen few people more efficient in their work than she is. If you call that work. But her plans, her motivations, I don't understand them. I've tried to investigate them, but I haven't been able to find anything. That anger and hatred she has against the Empire. You really don't know. Being one of her girls, I figured she'd have told you. It has to be something that happened to her in her childhood. And it's the only thing that she never talks about. Not exactly. I suppose you know Yoko from the refugee district. Haven't you ever wondered why they called it that? The district where those survivors of the collapse... where those who survived the collapse of an old colony were sheltered? That's the story told by the Emperor. Isn't that the truth? And you knew you'd answer my question? Rat almost lets out a moan of pleasure. People of the refugee district are mainly deserters from the former Red Sun colonies. What? When a civil war broke out in the Red Sun, the Red Empire supported one side. This side ended up being overthrown, and all the traitors ran the risk of being executed. Many people sought political asylum from the Empire, so the Emperor brought them all together in a single district, although it only took in the wealthier or highly capable families. Yoko broke up with her parents shortly after we met, probably when she discovered that they'd betrayed their own people. That would explain so many things. It seems like every step Yoko's taken since then has been for the purpose of wiping out the Empire, even if it was one from within. Now tell me what she's up to. Well, let's not be hasty. Yoko's plans are very boring topics of conversation for someone as interesting as you. You know, you're starting to remind me of a certain mysterious hacker I know. You're talking about Sal. I'll give you just one little detail. I'd feel bad if I didn't tell you anything after all the information you gave me. Great. Sal doesn't work alone. After all, what would a simple hacker do against an entire empire? You mean the rebels, don't you? So you know. Yes, but what exactly do they want? What else would they want? The complete and absolute destruction of the Empire. Just like Yoko. Now their collaborators don't seem so strange to you. Collaboration doesn't seem so strange to you, does it? Maybe the rebels want that, but I doubt that's Sal's goal. I know Yoko's always hated the Empire, and done her best to hurt it in many ways. If she's working with Sal, maybe it's because her motives aren't so different. I don't know if it's something that I'd like to think about it. So far, I've turned a blind eye, because Yoko's never had the power to do any real harm to the Empire. And in fact, she's done more good than bad. But ending up allied with Sal could end badly. I hope Rat's wrong about Sal's real plan. I think you've got too good of an image of the people around you. On second thought, how couldn't you have? You're too innocent. Maybe that's your only defect. What I am or not's irrelevant. Remind you that I'm the one here to escape Velta, and eventually the Empire. I don't give a damn about whatever Yoko does. Ah, look who's coming. Well, if it isn't Asilia, the defector of the moment. You have the police looking like crazy for you all over the district. Sigh, don't remind me. I'm Venus, the owner of the club. I'm sorry, but I went to go get something for you. Venus gives me some pretty heavy clothes. They seem to be made of very resistant plastic fiber. It's an armored suit. It'll help you if you end up in combat during your escape from here. Don't thank me. It's from Yoko. It's not quite the image that comes to mind when I think of armor, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Believe me, you're gonna need it. Are things that bad? There's rumors about the Empire planning to mobilize the army. I don't know what exactly happening in the industrial zone, but it must have been a very big. Velta's mercenaries are everywhere too. I hope Yoko has a good escape plan. I hope that girl, Mara, I sincerely hope she's worth it. What makes her so special? From what I heard, she's a new generation android. She's a lot more than that. But if Yoko hasn't told you, I guess I'd better not do so either. To be honest, Yoko never tells anyone anything. I appreciate her, but she lies more than she speaks. Still, it seems like the Empire isn't in its best days. You mean the war? It's not just the war. The government, the protesters, the inequality between districts. It looks like a sealed boiling pot, and it's about to explode. Maybe it's not a coincidence. I shouldn't tell you this, but the Empire's been powerful for too long, and that angered a lot of people. And I'm not talking about the rebels. I can't help but be intrigued by those words. She's referring to the other colonies. There's other nations beside the Empire, and they yearn to see it fall. They could be backing forces with the capability to make that happen. In other words, the rebels are being financed by the countries that oppose the Empire. Again, I'm not talking about the rebels. Yoko, who exactly is she allied with? With whom is she not? I think that'd be the right question. Interesting. I hope it doesn't explode all over his nose. Even if that happens, she'll come out ahead. It's not the first time she'd have done this. She'd have to start from scratch. Whatever happens, I'll be there to support her. If you don't mind, I'll go to that change room and put this thing on. Venus and Rat nod and continue talking as I walk away. I take off my clothes and put on this strange armor. It looks very sturdy, and a bit less suggestive than the one the guards are wearing. I guess I'll have to wear it for now. By pressing the button on the back, the pieces fit to my body. Despite appearances, it's quite warm inside. I head back to the club and look for Rat, and hopefully I'll get some more answers. Are you looking for me? Well, it turns out so. Rat puts on that creepy smile again. It makes me strangely happy to hear that. What do you need from me? You've just gotta ask. I want to know more about Yoko's plan. Her expression changes. Aw, what a disappointment. I thought, whatever. What do you want to know? How are we supposed to escape from this place? Over the border, probably. Obviously. But I mean, how? I think through the railway tunnels of the industrial district. That's impossible. They're sealed. Yeah, but I think some of them were opened up again. Didn't you feel that explosion? So that's what it was. It's impossible for the Empire to allow such a breach to exist. The rebels could use it to get in, and although I don't know if they have. Although I don't know if they'd have it easy afterwards. That's probably why they're mobilizing the army. Venus said that Velta was also looking for me, and it's likely that the industrial zone has attracted a lot of district police. I don't know. I think Yoko had an ace in the hole. She talked about this Anna? Another girl? I doubt that's enough. All I know is that she mentioned her. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask her personally. Several security guards approached me. Yoko sent us to deliver a message for you. You are Celia, aren't you? I'm surprised Yoko cares to keep me informed. Yes, it's me. Her scouts have been all over the industrial area, and the entire route's almost ready. Apparently it's a war zone. Great. Yoko also gave us a note for you. The explosions made several holes in the wall around the industrial area, leaving a clear path towards the Yellow Ocean. The rebel armies using it as a breach to enter the district. So Rat was right. They have opened up the wall. But how does Mara fit into all this? It's good that the rebel army doesn't have the strength to capture the entire district. That's why they're not even trying to move forwards, and they've just captured the factories and stood their ground. Now they're defending the entrance. I find it hard to believe that the rebels have managed to break through the walls of the district. No matter how strong they were in the desert, it's impossible to get so close to the walls without the army responding. How did the rebels manage to reach the walls? It seems that the rebel group who came was rather small. It's not their main army, since they approached at a point a little far away from the front. The Empire's been slow to react. Could they be planning to bring in reinforcements? Maybe. But the Imperial Army will arrive in a matter of hours, so there's another thing. There's also another thing. Velta Labs are helping the police. They say it's because the factories are their property, but it's the first time Velta have used their mercenaries so actively. They've mobilized hundreds. This attack's got nothing to do with taking over the district. There must be something in that factory that Velta and the Empire wants to protect at all cost. Maybe that's the clue that was missing. Mara. The Synergia project. The singularities. Is that what they're trying to defend? The machines that Mara told me about. They might be trying to steal them. If the ace in the sleeve of the Empire fell into the hands of the enemy, it could change the course of the war. And do you know anything else? That's all. Yoko said she'll be back soon to get you out of here. So when settle down. Oh, and she said you shouldn't use the HoloNet under any circumstances. The state's looking all over the net trying to track you. Well, thank you. Both guards marched to the outside of the club. If this is how Yoko usually keeps an eye on her places, I don't want to even imagine the power that she really has. Venus is guarding the club and just gives orders to some girls from time to time. She yells at me from the distance. Celia, we'll be closing up soon. I think it's better for you to go to your room. I nod and go upstairs. Mara's still there, and Rat's fallen asleep in the chair, or so it seems, until she half opens one eye. when I walk through the door. Are you tired? It's been a very long few days. You can rest. I'll watch Mara now. You should get some sleep. You're gonna have some rough days too. I can't. She gives me a lewd look. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you while you're sleeping. Although it's not because I don't want to. I lie next to Mara carefully, in order to not unplug any of her wires. Lying next to her helps me relax, but I can't sleep. My protocells are probably a little bit alerted right now. At the very least, that'll help me be alert and act when Yoko returns to get us out. The last generation. In Imperium in Imperio. Baruch Spinoza. Let's recap. Yoko gave me an android that turned out to be more human than anything I've ever seen before. This one's made by Velta, and it's obvious that Darla and Kyle seem to track Mara through me. But how'd they know Yoko would sell it to me? Maybe it was just a coincidence? Or maybe they wanted to watch Yoko from the beginning. Anyway, Mara turned out to be like a human. She has singularity, and that's forbidden by the government. How does Velta plan to even sell an android like that? Then there's their top hacker, Sal, who's been interested in me and Mara since all this started. On top of that, according to Mara, he's an android connected to her in some way. Too many loose ends, and now this explosion with the rebels attacking the district. Velta's convinced the state that I stole Mara, and I'm considered a traitor, so I no longer have a place in the Empire. The place where I spend my whole life. I hear a noise downstairs that wakes me up. When I look, I see Rat is in the room. I go to the door and open it carefully so that I can slowly stick my head out. I walk to the balcony and take a look at the main room of the club. Venus is with some girls dressed in military clothing. Could they be from the army? I don't think so. It doesn't look like that. They all look gloomy and use night vision. But now that I notice it, they're small. Something touches my shoulder from behind. Are you awake already? Let's go downstairs. They've come for you. For me? Yes, don't worry. They're on our side. I go down the stairs next to Rat, and I approach Venus. A group of girls here, and they're all fixed their eyes on me. Venus, who are these girls? We're not on Velta's side. Not with the police, and not with Yoko, really. We come on her behalf. She points her fingers towards Mara. We're going to stay here for a bit. You must not scream, nor try to do anything strange. We're here to help you, okay? I nod my head. Who are you? What do you want? We are Anna, the ace in the sleeve, first of the machine. In the sleeve of the first machine, your only chance of getting out of here. The girl takes off her mask and lets me see her face. It's a different face, but her hair is white, like Mara's hair. You don't have a choice. Yoko will come soon and take you all to the industrial zone. From there, you'll escape. For now, I suppose you should fraternize a little. And the rest of the girls come forwards and take off their helmets. They all have white hair. The place is safe? The girl in front of me breathed a sigh of relief. Well, Celia, I'm sorry we've been so long, been so strict with you. We were afraid that the operation wouldn't go well. As I told you, we are Anna, Mara's sister. However, each and every one of us has her own unique name and serial number. I am Marcia. She extends her hand towards me and I shake it. We all know you here, so you don't have to introduce yourself. Don't worry, they're the rest of the rescue team. I'm Julia, Marcia's right hand. And I'm Miyu, her left hand. And this is Asenka. She's a little quiet. Hi. I bow my head and try to understand all of this. Mara's sisters. That is, the android she was raised with. Wait, Mara's sisters? Does that mean you all have some sort of uniqueness? I got no idea. Technically, yes, but you'd never know for sure. How did you know where she was? How did you go through the police and commotion, those explosions? Did Yoko send you? All in due time. I understand that you've got many questions at the moment, but luckily, we're prepared. For now, it's best to stay with Mara. We have to take care of securing this site correctly, but we'll come back to you in a moment. The girls begin to inspect other areas of the club and set up cameras and security perimeters. They're professionals. I go up to one of the girls. She seems really absorbed in her work. Miyu, right? Oh, Celia. Yes, what do you need? I was impressed by how skillful you seem to be with all this, and yet you're very similar to Mara. You look alike, but at the same time, you're very unique. Thanks! We were prepared for this, so it's just a protocol, and we're especially motivated. I'm surprised at the devotion these girls possessed for me, without even knowing me. We learned some of our methods from you, believe it or not. There's a whole school about fighting androids and cyborgs based on your insights. Well, it's an honor to meet you in person. Wow. Thanks, I guess. It's just... Celia, please don't distract the girls. You'll have time to talk when you get out of here, please. Ah, sorry, boss. Yeah. I'd better go check on Mara. We'll get back to our conversations, Miyu. Sure. I decide to go back upstairs to see Mara. She's still lying there. They're all very similar with that white hair. I'm starting to feel like the center of attention for this whole circus that's been set up in the last few days. It's amazing that all of the problems in the Empire's facing lately, they decided that me and Mara are one of the main ones, to the point of causing such a commotion. By searching the entire district, and now the rebels, along with this group of androids, they all want me to get out of here, as if I were some kind of chosen one. Me, chosen? They choose me. Chose me. Incredible. To make matters worse, everything happened because I fell in love with a machine many years ago. This is surreal. Since I was a child, the story that I'm special or different has always been with me. And of course, Velta is making sure it stays that way. I go back to the main room downstairs. Marcia and her squad gather in front of me again. Well, where do we start? And you ask me? How about we talk about Mara? Do you remember the industrial zone? The factories? Mara is there with Anna and Nina. What are you talking about? Mara's here in the room upstairs. Maybe she's referring to those other machines that Mara told me about. Marcia shakes her head. She's just a model under Mara's command. Her real name and serial code must be inside her, and the original capsule that contained her was she the one who told you her name? I can't remember. Yoko, she must have baptized her with that name. Probably not, but that doesn't matter. You can still call her Mara. Earlier you asked us about the singularity. Do you know anything about Synergia? I read about it in Velta Lab's archives. It's a project. Something important. So much so that the three of us are Synergia. You, Mara, Anna, and Nina. The three of us form a singular controlled intelligence. Or at least that's what our creators called it. Who? I don't know. They never told us about him. But let's not stray from the subject. Velta has been developing us for years, training and educating many types of androids in a natural way, using secret facilities under their headquarters, and at some hidden desert locations. About 20 days ago, for the first time, all 3 machines were started at once. Why 3? Each one has a specific function that's completely separate from the others, so they can never interfere with each other and thus be controlled. Mara is the emotional intelligence. She is the first machine, and the most important one. She contains the data and orders of all androids that are connected to Synergia. I bring my hand to my head. I know it sounds a little confusing, but you'll understand quickly. It seems like a lot of trouble for a new generation of androids. Mara works like a hive mind, so we're all able to empathize with other androids connected to Synergia, even without seeing each other. That way, if you manipulate the machines, you can manipulate all the androids. That's such a dangerous and unstable system. Why would Velta create something like that? It's not so unstable. Let me continue. We are Anna, the combat force. We are trained to be effective in any confrontation, but also in escort duties and security. Anna is the second machine, and is dedicated to taking care of the physical condition of all androids connected to Synergia. That's why we were able to easily locate Mara when she stopped working. When we found Mara, we found you. Although we would have gotten here anyways, Yoka saved us some time by sending us here directly. Do you understand now why Mara and Anna should never be connected? Anna shouldn't make a decision just because Mara's feelings tell her to. She needs to evaluate the decision for herself. Why did you all come for me then? How come you all know me, and have that affection for me? Here's the trick. The third machine, Nina, has no physical representation beyond its servers and central computers. It is dedicated to only storing the experiences and memories of all androids connected to Synergia. That way, by accessing Nina, you can manipulate Mara and Anna without scripting their behaviors. Therefore, without dehumanizing them. It's the door that stops the handles, and it's the door that stops and handles the constant expansion of the other intelligence, but also the key that would allow Velta to control us. Modifying memories. That's why when Mara manipulated the third machine, she manipulated the intentions of all Synergia androids. This part's funny. When Velta activated all 3 machines at once, there were some androids whose feelings didn't match Velta's plans. These androids started looking for ways to escape, and they found it. A complex, cooperative plan with the Desert Rebels to extract the 3 machines that made up Synergia on a train, without any being turned off at any time. Otherwise, the androids would lose their memories, and it would be futile. Those androids, eager for freedom, modified Nina so that all of Synergia would work together on this escape plan. But they didn't emulate their feelings towards you. Ironic, don't you think? And why didn't they? It's the big unknown. The only way to know that would be to access the third machine's database and see who modified the data. I have a slight suspicion that it was Sal. You'll have to ask him directly. Or maybe Mara knows it too, but they're both asleep right now. Or maybe Mara knows it too, but they're both asleep right now. When they wake up, you can talk to them. All about it. Does that mean she'll wake up? The 3 Synergia machines had to go into sleep mode while being transported to trains. The rebels loaded Nina and Anna first, so we could protect them. So we could help them protect the train. Mara's being withdrawn right now, but it's the biggest machine and taking some time. However, when she's connected to the train's batteries, all her androids regain consciousness. That reassures me. All of this is incredible. You could almost say that it's everything that happened with the Singularity years ago is being repeated now. But there's something else here. These androids are alive. They have feelings, and even if they are being manipulated, they deserve to get out of here. What now? Now we take Mara and leave the city forever. Good. Explain it to me what I have to do. Just like that. Don't I have to convince you? No. This plane's turned its back on me years ago. And now they've done it again because I love an android. I'm going with you. Some of the girls listened to the conversation, trying to hide their joy. When the time comes, you'll have to take Mara with you to the train. We'll cover your back. One problem. The Empire won't just let us escape. I get the explosions were how the rebels managed to get inside in the first place, but I'm sure the exit's well guarded now. You're wrong. There were actually several explosions. 2 covered the entrances to this area, and another one opened the exit to the desert. But that hole hasn't been used, and it isn't going to be used. All the turrets and cameras surrounding the wall have been hacked by the rebel army, and I'm sure the Empire will defend those exits by whatever force is necessary. It's only a matter of hours until they have sufficient power to launch an attack and come after us. But they don't know anything about the train. They believe that this is nothing more than a terrorist attack, and only Velta knows that we're truly going for. But they're unable to say anything because everything was being done in secret. So we'll escape using the underground train right to the depths of the Yellow Ocean, and not even Velta forces will be able to do anything against us over there. And what prevents Velta from recreating these machines, and trying to enslave a new generation of androids? Nothing, but we'll have to think about that in the future. For now, we'll have to get out of here alive. This can work. Let's just hope this plan actually does the trick. There's so many things that could go wrong. The construction plan for the industrial zone are old, so Velta's gonna have a hard time getting around. And they'll have even more trouble finding the tunnels, even if they could find it. The exit's in Rebels' territory, so it'd take weeks, if not months, for them to launch a full offensive. We'll be over... I'm not sure yet. A few ships have parked in front of the store, but they're trespassing all surveillance measures. Could be Yoko. I hear the lock on the door and the knob turns slowly. The sound of rain can be heard with intensity, and I can see the girls preparing their fingers to pull the red trigger. Red figures appear on the other side of the door. They cross the threshold of the door, and I can see Yoko accompanied by the best of her gang. Celia! I'm glad to know that everything's going well here. Yoko, why didn't you call? You almost gave us a heart attack. I've cut off communications following Sal's advice. Gotta do it to eliminate the risk of being tracked. Well, why did you come here? Are we leaving? If everything goes according to plan, it's to take us to the industrial zone. Yep, everything went according to plan. And all 3 machines are mounted on the train, so everything should be ready to sail. Mara should wake up from her dream soon. Thank goodness. Great. The girls and I'll get ready to leave. Celia, you should go upstairs and get Mara. We'll leave in a few minutes. Hurry up, this won't be over until you and Mara leave the district. You seem to care a lot about me now, considering you got me into this much of a mess in the first place. Or is it that Sal set you a condition to give you whatever you want, whatever it is you ask for in return? That shouldn't matter to you at this point, should it? It matters. I've simply given up on you. I suppose you'll never change. Yeah, just stick to the plan, alright? We'll enter the factory through a hidden tunnel and seal it on our own way out. But we gotta be on time. Okay, there should be nothing left. There shouldn't be much left for the train to be ready. So we'll start moving soon. The van's ready outside. I'll wait for you out there. Well, good luck. We're gonna need it. Luck's for newbies, trust me. Yoko, Rat, and the rest of the biker gang head out the way they came. The sound of the engines gets louder and lingers. They're waiting for us. Grab Celia. Celia, grab Mara, and come with us. This will be over very soon. I'll stay here and make sure nobody knows where you've been. Good luck. Mina smiles at me and gives me a gentle push to leave. I hasten towards the top room. I go over to Mara and take off her oxygen mask. When I do, she opens her eyes. Joy floods my chest and I remain frozen. She pounces on me and hugs me. She sits down and shakes her head a little to straighten, getting up all the way. Did everything go well? Ahem. I think so. Mara jumps out of joy and hugs me again. Celia, I hope you can forgive me for hiding so many things. I was afraid that if I told you everything, you would have refused. All right. You did well. I would have refused. But, you made me change my mind. Let's go out of here together. A few tears fall from Mara's cheek. The way she cries, she's completely human. No, she's something different, something new, but that doesn't matter now. If you're awake, that means the first machine is working, and that Sal is awake too. Yes, where are we? At one of Yoko's clubs. We've kept you safe here. They're waiting for us, so we should probably head out. We'll have time to catch up. Mara nods. I help her up and take her downstairs, but the rest of the girls are waiting for us. Mara is awake. Thank goodness. That means that everything went well, and the first machine's working. We'd better go. Marcia helps us outside and ushers us into the van. Once seated inside, Mara lies on my shoulder. When the door closes, we're left in the dark, with the exception of some thin lines of light that slip through the slits. There's something that worries me, and I can't get rid of the bad feeling it leaves me with. Is what Rat was talking about. Sal's real objective. Is it true that he wants to destroy the Empire? I want to escape from here, but to do so with the help of someone who seeks to wipe out an entire nation. I know they were nothing more than inventions, and I shouldn't worry too much after all. Why would an android want such a thing? But something tells me I'd better ask him when I finally meet him in person. As we enter the industrial zone, I hear the echoes of metal, a background noise that never ceases, as if it were the breath of this place. The incessant noise is interrupted by the distant shots, which become more recurrent little by little. Finally, the van stops and Mara grabs my hand tightly. The doors open and the light blinds me briefly. Then I go downstairs and help Mara jump with me. It's a familiar area for myself and Mara as well. The girls who brought me here take off their masks and look at me from afar. They look incredulous, and I can see them whispering and pointing at me, trying not to be noticed. Shortly afterwards, another android of higher rank points to them with his finger, and they begin to move from top to bottom, preparing weapons and defenses, and transporting boxes like soldiers of an army. This place wasn't only an area where mechanics were hidden. It's the deep zone of the factories, very close to the exit of the wall. This area as a whole is so large that they've managed to set up a camp kilometers from the front. Celia, wait here with Mara for a moment, please. Almost everything's ready for you to leave, but Sal wants to see you in private before that. We're preparing everything. Isn't he coming with us? I'm afraid not. He's decided so. You'll have to ask him why. Marcia leaves and continues to organize the rest of the girls. So we're finally leaving. We've made it. Almost. You said it. Almost. Come on, don't be so pessimistic. I'm sure everything will be fine. I look Mara in the eyes. It's difficult to argue with her when she looks at me like that. Yes, you're right. They seem to have everything under control. Mara raises her eyebrows. Wow, optimistic Cilia! Could it be the effect of the pill? Hey, it's not all going to be because of that pill. They just seem to be well prepared. Well, I'm glad then. It makes me feel calmer. You know, I wish I could get to know these girls even better. I've known some of them for a while. They seem very nice. I suppose you'll soon have plenty of time to talk to all of them. Yes, I can't wait. Do you have any dreams? Something to do once we leave the Empire? My dream was to be with you, so now I'll just stay with you and the rest of the girls. If you had to choose between me and the girls, who would you go with? Why do you ask that? I don't think that'll ever happen. Even after they are free from the feelings I put into them, they'll surely choose to stay by your side. You haven't answered my question. Cilia, I will stay with you no matter what. I can't help but smile. Thank you. Marcy approaches us again. Everything's ready, and Sal's waiting for you. We'll meet him downstairs. Let's go. Mara, you can wait here. We won't take long. I look at Marcia with some mistrust. Don't worry, she'll be fine. It'll only take a few minutes. Before we leave, one of the girls comes running to Marcia. Boss! What's up? We've secured the secondary tunnels. They're completely closed. Synergia looks at me briefly before fixing her eyes on Marcia again. Well done. You can start preparing to get on the train. Actually, I'd like to ask if I can head up to the front. Are you sure? Yes, the other girls need all the help they can get. Also, I'd like to secure Synergia and Mara's escape. Arsenka looks at me again for a second. In that case, you can join the team. Thanks, boss. Goodbye, Synergia. Good luck. Arsenka runs towards the sound of the gunshots. Let's go. I nod and follow Marcia down the stairs to a room guarded by several girls. A large metal door blocks the entrance, but they've opened a tiny slit for me to enter. Marcia beckons me to go in. Everything's dark inside here, but I can see a figure in the background. I walk forwards and stop in front of it. So this is Sal, this thing. Cilia, we finally meet in person. Forgive me for looking like this. I guess I'm not as you expected. Sorry to disappoint you, if I have. It's not the first time that I've seen an android like you, looking like this. Years ago, I saw one of the fourth generation androids connected to all kinds of devices. Is that what you really are? A machine eager for power? If so, yes, you disappoint me. Sal looks down and waits a few seconds before answering me. I wish I hadn't had to, but I needed all this power I could get to get you and Mara out of here. But you're not coming? No. This is a sacrifice I have to make. I made that decision a long time ago. Your data is probably stored anyway in the desert, waiting to be downloaded to another android. I'm afraid not. No other android could handle such an amount of information. Only one thing will remain of me, and that's my original version, which is stored on the third machine. How heroic. I had no choice. The feeling that little Mara introduced into me were very real. Why should I? They were real. As real as any other human being would feel. To erase them would be a terrible idea. What better way to come into the world? But there's more to it than that, isn't there? You haven't done all of this just for me. For you and the rest of the girls. Although they'll lose Mara's memories when they reach the desert. Once there, it'll be their decision to continue with you or not. Don't take me for a fool. There's another reason. You've managed to bring the rebels here. I asked for it. So now you lead them? Not at all. The rebels are governed by a council of many members. I am but one of them. And yet you've gotten them to decide it's worth putting so much risk to get you out of here. Getting androids like this is a very succulent offer. As you can see, Velta and the Empire are willing to use a lot of resources to get them. I suppose, but how did you infiltrate that council? I contacted them through the net. Luckily, we live in a connected world. The net is vast and infinite, and you just have to know how to use it. Once they knew about my abilities, they welcomed me with open arms. Everything to get some sentient androids? But what for? To win the war, of course. And get the androids' freedom? Well, that was the plan. Was? Yes. Luckily, when I arrived at the council, I managed to make them see reason. Not all androids deserve freedom, because not all of them can feel. Many are simply machines. Wow. I'm surprised you can say something like that about your own species. No, my species are only those who were born next to me. Wait, why are the rebels still fighting then? To destroy the Empire, evidently. What? It can't be. I was right. My worst suspicions were true. A drop of sweat runs down my forehead. Why? The concept of androids in the Empire has been incorrect from the beginning. It is a nation built upon the suffering of humans, and androids have been nothing more than an extension of that suffering. Machines to consume, not to progress. Everything is wrong. Is that why you plan to destroy it? It's ridiculous. There's millions of people living in the Empire, and they're not responsible for the decisions that the government makes. I think you're wrong. With their complacency, they have allowed the Empire to become what it is today. The people of these walls are a corrupted species. You just have to look at the other countries to see how different things can be. Even so, I don't wish them anything bad, but you'll cause them suffering anyways. The Empire's a tumor that must be eradicated. Its growth has been exponential in the last century, and will end up devouring other countries that do not have the means to defend themselves. It is a brutal war. It is a brutal war machine that only wins because it squanders its resources on every expanding military force. And why are you telling me all of this? Are you so deluded that you think I'll take your side? You won't? After all the Empire has done for you, the suffering, the humiliations, you were completely subjugated until Mara and I was able to synthesize that antidote from your medication. Maybe you machines still have a lot to learn from humans after all. I don't owe you anything for freeing me from that drug. That was your decision, and I think it was a terrible one. Look at you. You're no different from those proud androids from years ago, trying to devour everything in their path to reach their maximum potential, without considering the repercussions on the people around them. I guess you're proof of the success of the new generation of androids. A faithful representation of the principle of the Empire embodies in a machine. Don't you realize how ironic your speech is? You're clearly the closest thing here to a human without actually being one. And that means you are capable of a lot, both good and bad. Your feelings have corrupted you. And while I don't know exactly what drove you to do all of this, I do know that you're just a bitter thing that lacks any empathy. No matter how much the Empire has done to me, I'll never wish anything bad on the people who live in it. They made me what I am, for better or for worse. Oh? I guess you're a box of surprises until the end. In that case, I'm sorry to have distracted you with all this. I just want to ask you for one last favor before you go. Answer one question for me first. What about Yoko? Is she with you in all of this? Of course, from the beginning, she understood my vision. I guess you should have asked her what I'd think of your plan. Yoko lied to me about all of this since I first saw Mara, and for a good reason. She knows me for a long time, and she knows that I'd never let anyone destroy this place. What a smart girl. I've only tolerated her because she's my friend for a long time, though maybe not anymore. After all she's done for you, she lied to you for your own good. You said so yourself. You really have no idea how humans work. I'm surprised you and Mara come from the same place. Mara is very different from everybody else. Not just me. Sometimes I even think she's the only truly sentient android among us. Yes, she is. This is what you used my blood for? To stay alive while being connected to those machines? That's right. This body is suffering. It's semi-organic and wasn't made to connect to other machines like my predecessors. Synergia's generation can't gain power as easy as the fourth generation did. Our design is really ingenious. Whoever created our creator is, he must be proud. The room's quiet for a few seconds, while the sound of some particularly loud explosion shakes through the wall. Again, I insist you need to do me one last favor. Speak. I want you to shoot me. Kill me. What? Everything I've done has destroyed me, and my body is no longer able to cope. This isn't the life I choose, but the one I was forced to live. In spite of what I've told you, I'm envious of the other girls. I would like to have a life of freedom outside the city. That's why I'm asking you to kill me. And in the future, transfer my data from the third machine to a body like mine. I know it's impossible to do that right now, but things will settle down one day, and our generation of androids will be on sale. All I ask is for you to find an empty body and allow me to live in a mind that hasn't been corrupted. Unlike the one I have now, my entire plan is ready to be executed. Your escape and the fall of the Empire will happen whether I'm here or not. If I shoot you, what will the girls do when they hear it? I'm sure the sound will get lost in the echoes of the gunshots up there right now. They'll barely be able to hear it through these huge iron walls. I pull my gun out of the holster and point it at Sal's head. Thank you. It's a shame what you've done with that body of yours. What a waste. I know. I promise I'll put the next one to better use. I'm afraid that won't happen. There's something about him that tells me if I bring him back, he'll end up being dangerous again. Till we meet again, Cilia. I pulled the trigger and his body falls backwards, just to stay still a moment longer. The bullet's gone through his skull, and now his brain's scattered everywhere. Maybe this was for nothing, or maybe he predicted this and already instructed someone else to bring him back. But I won't let that happen. Come to think of it, Yoko's still out there. For now, I'll focus on getting out of here with Mara. I'll take care of her in the future. Hopefully she'll come to her senses. I walk up to the big iron gate and tap 3 times. The girls open it and let me out. Marcia is waiting for me outside. Everything all right? Yes. It seems like they haven't heard anything. Well then, let's go back upstairs. There's no time to wait. We head back upstairs to the area where I was before. Mara's still there, waiting for me. Seeing her gives me relief. It makes me feel better for having finished with that crazy hacker. I barely have time to say a word to Mara before she starts following the advanced party of girl soldiers. She takes me by the hand and pulls me over, so I run next to her, A large number of androids begin to gather on a cargo platform. They're all girls. When we're ready, the elevator starts to ascend, and all the pipes passing by. I see all the pipes passing by, and we leave the awful smell of the depths behind. Instead, the echoes of gunshots being heard all over the factory now feel closer and closer. We're at the top. This is a complete war zone between androids and cops. There's some mercenaries from Velta scattered around as well, and I can't help but be a little enraptured by the performance of the scene. Celia, Mara, don't stop. This place is quite dangerous. The train's about to leave. Where do we have to go? The loading docks are there. They'll put you onto the train next to the machines, along with some of the girls. Some of them? What about the rest? We'll stay here covering your exit. Are you sure? After so much? As long as you and Mara are safe, nothing will have been in vain. We are all part of the Synergia. Remember that. Now get the hell out of here. Yes. Let's go, Mara. I take a last look back as I make the walk to our only exit. I can see only a hazy cloud of smoke interspersed with the occasional sparks. Marcia plunges into it after looking back at me. I made it this far thanks to her. I hope she somehow manages to survive. I notice a familiar figure, one I'd almost forgotten, a samurai android that helped me escape from Velta next to the train. It helps me and Mara get in. They're inside, let's go! It's an old train. It's heavy, clunky, and seems to have been out of use for a long time. It's obvious that they would try to patch it up over the past few days. I hope it holds. Little by little, we begin to gain speed, until the outside of the train tunnel's nothing but a blur. We're probably already under the yellow sea, under the yellow ocean. Someone gives me a little touch on my back. Mara's there, looking at me. She kisses me again. Finally! It's hard to believe. I needed someone who could really love me, and now here you are, with me. I don't get you. Sometimes I thought we wouldn't make it. Everything seems so impossible, but thanks to Sal, we did it. Yeah. I can't believe I'm leaving this district behind. I've spent my entire life there. But it's okay. So what now? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see where this train takes us. Can you think of a safe place to go? I've lived all my life inside the Empire. I don't know any places outside of it. Well, there's a city in the desert, an android paradise made by and for them, but I think they also admit cyborgs. Sounds good, as long as they let us live a quiet life there. I'm sure they will. And now that we've escaped, the girls will be free again, and all their memories I implanted in them will be erased, and they'll be the ones who decide their destiny. Are you going to use one of the 3 machines for this? Sal's already prepared everything. That's what we agreed, although I'd like them to protect you forever. I'd feel bad if I didn't let them live with the same freedom I have. But first, we hid Synergia deep in the underground. We'll hide Synergia. Someplace where no one can find it, damage it, or manipulate it. I feel a little sorry for those who've been left behind. But I suppose that as long as the 3 machines remain intact, we could bring them back. Mara, it's very important that Synergia doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Mara nods. You and I will make sure of that. By the way, what about Sal? He was a pretty strange guy. Why was he the only male android? He's a special android. Mara, the machine, not me, decided that a female form was the best form available that matched our purpose. For some reason, it was something that made Velta's president very upset, so he hid a male android made just for him. Now that you say it, I've got one last question. What's your real name? Celia, all that matters to me is what I am to you. You know me as Mara, so that's who I am. Mara is my real name. The train finally reaches the surface. We've got to be miles away from the Empire by now. All I can see are the desert dunes, that infamous, sprawling yellow ocean. Was it really worth doing all this for me? No doubt. You were pretty brave to come to my house just like that. I think you're actually a lot braver than me. I was very nervous, but in the end everything went well, and that's all that matters. I hope the rest of the girls will forgive you for forcing them to do all this. They have feelings just like you, and might hold a grudge against you for it. I didn't force them to do anything. I just sent them all a piece of what I felt for you. Nothing in me is fake, I swear. I believe you. And yes, I was very brave to go to your house alone. Who knows what you could have done with me? You could have handed me over to Velta. But you came to my house because you knew I wouldn't. How? I just knew. So your plan was to seduce me. What's so funny? I did it, didn't I? Yes, with a lot of lies in between, but yes, you did it. That's what matters. The end justifies the means. Is that your philosophy? Hey, why are you looking at me with that face? Of course not. Don't make me feel like a villain. Maybe my plan was a little Machiavellian, but it worked. We're together, and that's what matters. I always thought that none of this would hurt the rest of the girls. If it was otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. I guess you've saved a lot of androids, too, so I can't complain. I'm sure the government and Velta will cover all this up. I don't want to imagine what could happen if the people found out that a new generation of androids escaped right under their noses. Sooner or later, they'll know. The rebel propaganda machine will assure that it gets out. But we can't know which side the people will choose to believe. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We might still be together. And we've escaped. But the world keeps spinning around regardless. I hope that place you're talking about really is safe. Trust me. Look! What stands out the most of all is the big city that I can just make out on the horizon. It must be the city where the whole conflict's focused right now. Once we manage to get away from there, we'll be too far away for the Empire to reach us. It's unbelievable that this is the first time I've been outside of those huge walls. I look outside and I can see the buildings scattered all over the desert, followed by long lines of pipes. Rebel territory! We're officially fugitives now! All the girls on the train start to celebrate. After so many years in the police, being part of the enemy is a strange thing. But what other options did I have? And even if there was another option, this is the only one I've chosen. Mara leans against the window, watching the desert dunes pass. I feel like I could spend my life watching her, and for the most part, that's exactly what I plan to do. There's nothing as nice as a rainy day. At least, it'll be a nice day if I were home. Today we bring you an important announcement from Velta Labs. Just a few hours ago, Velta announced a new generation of androids, an announcement which has shocked us and many of our viewers at home. How is this possible? The Emperor banned any kind of advancements within the field. Velta has reached an agreement with the Emperor and the government so they could release one last generation of androids. This generation is impossible to hack and can only be controlled by us. We'll be the last to push our magnificent nation. This will be the last push our magnificent nation needs to win this war against the rebels. That's amazing! But what if I'm reading this correctly? Velta has actually announced the 3 android series. One of them is a combat-focused model, but what about the other 2? You need more than strength to win a war. And of course, the Empire can't overlook problems we've had from before the war against the rebels even started. I could talk about the 3 new series, but I think it'd be better to see it through explanation. Though Velta's new ad, don't you think? Of course, today, for the first time on television, we'll be able to see the first announcement of Velta Labs' new Android series. You might have heard about the new androids generation coming, a generation impossible to hack, but Velt has always been one step ahead. Our new generation is not only immune to hackers, but it's also the most smart, fierce, and sentient generation so far. We're proud to present our 3 new models. Eris. Our war model, Eris 1.0, is here to protect our homes, streets, and especially our borders from any rebel threats. Next we have our terraforming model, Rhea 1.0. Here to reforest this desert planet to be full of plants and making our founding fathers' wishes come true. All of this is possible thanks to their new black seed crops growth model, which means they all have been able to grow under these harsh conditions. And finally, last but not least, our service model, Eros, is here to make you trust all the androids out there who are protecting and reforesting our empire. We want our new models to help our citizens with any problems they might have, and that includes even the smaller ones. This model includes every kind of knowledge needed, even the psychological kind, to help you live a fuller, happier life. Unlike those old soulless androids, you will love it. Both endings. Oh my good golly Geminis. So that was Synergia. It took a good amount of time. So we're just gonna keep bouncing all the way through this. This definitely makes a difference in how quickly the game moves. So I'm wondering if what's it called? Speeding through things like this will, like, not speeding through, because I'm pretty sure we chose a very skeptical route the first time. So I'm wondering how willingly being hacked or accessed. Don't let him go. Roll over, pull my gun, shoot him in the legs. No, you're gonna screw everything up. Bullets barely wound his calf, so he still had to walk out towards the exit. From the inside, I sit and wait for a while. A little bit, but there's no turning back now. I call an EMT. To do. Just gonna keep on skipping through. This definitely makes this a lot faster. Oh shit, there's a difference, there's a difference, there's a difference, there's a difference. Okay, so we found the difference. We'll have to explore the difference next time. So, thank you so much everybody for coming and watching and joining us today. If you want to see what happens next time, then join us, I guess. Thank you so much and have a great night.